What if it's the only way they communicate? Okay, we're talking about texting here. So I'm finding this to be very, very, very common in the space that my husband and I are in. And it's actually one thing that's pretty surprising to me because this is not something that we dealt with. My husband and I talk. We have conversations, in-person conversations. We do not depend on texts. We do not depend on electronic type of communication because here's the thing. There's no real intimacy in those things. Texting is fake. I mean, you can't understand what somebody is trying to convey based on what they're typing. You cannot read their body language. There's no emotional connection there. It's just words. So it's typically going to be assumed what they're trying to say, and then you're trying to figure out how to respond to them, and then it just gets really, really messy, and it's not real. So I always question, like, what are we doing if we're not having real life conversations in our marriage or in our relationship? What are we doing here? Like, that's where intimacy is. That's where you resolve problems. That's where connections are made. It's not behind a phone, texting, trying to understand what somebody else is trying to say to you or how you want to respond. So if it's the only way that they're trying, that they communicate, that's something you have to ask yourself if that's what you want in a relationship. Like, do you really want to be in a relationship with somebody where the only way they can communicate with you is behind a phone? Like, that's just unrealistic. That's not real intimacy. There's no real bond there. So instead of trying to make them change, you have to ask yourself if this is what you want in a relationship. And that sucks and that's hard. And I understand that it's something that you have to reevaluate on your own. But I see this way too often that the only way that people communicate is via texting.